today's video, I'm going to be discussing my views on septum piercing. Foremost, I want to say thank you for tuning in, and I'm going to talk about why I eventually got my septum pierced. It had been a minute since I had gotten any tattoos or any piercings. The only other piercings that I got is my ears pierced. So it had been a minute since I got those, and I don't really wear earrings anymore, which I don't know. I just don't really wear earrings anymore. Fuck it. No reason why. But I I wanted to get my septum pierced. I had been looking at some people, Ezekiel Elliott and who else? Alvin Kamara is another reason that kind of inspired me to go out and get my septum pierced. And I just seen a lot more people with it. I think that's kind of like what swayed me. And I was like, I probably would look cool. And I started growing my hair out. That was another reason, because when I had the fade, the little boosie fade, I was like, no way I'm getting it. So that was just another reason why I felt like would be okay. It fit kind of like the look that I was going for. But yeah, I thought it would be a good look, and I just kind of said fuck it and went for it as far as that. So let's get into it. One thing I want to talk about is where to go with septum piercing. I know some people might just some people just go get tattoos anywhere. Some people might go just to get their ear pierced anywhere. But with a septum piercing, you need to go to somebody who knows what they're doing. I'm not saying that, you might know somebody that doesn't know how to pierce, but definitely go to somebody reputable that knows that you've seen actually do the work, because there is, unlike an ear, there's a spot that you want them to hit in order for it not to hurt, lingering hurt. I would say that. I'm in Cincinnati, and I went to a place called Skincraft and got mine done. So if anybody's in the Cincinnati area, I definitely would recommend Skincraft to go to. It's definitely a good place where you can get the piercing done. Now, next, one question that I always kind of get is, did it hurt? And for me, I would say there is a level of hurt that it did bring, but it wasn't nothing unbearable, nothing to kind of run from. If even if you're not good with pain, it's not like it was maybe 3 or 4 seconds of pain. So if you can't handle 3 or 4 seconds of pain, if you have that fear of just having 3 to 4 seconds of pain, then this is probably not for you. But I'm here to tell you, you can do it. Um, and it's just that plain and simple. Now, I will say, after the fact, I did have soreness maybe for 2 to 4 weeks, a kind of soreness, but that only came from like rubbing my nose, or maybe hitting it or getting touched. But other than that, it, like I said, nothing too unbearable. Next thing that I'm gonna hit on is, how much did it cost? Now, for me, it was about $60, and plus I left a tip, so around $70. I think that's kind of standard, normal, that you're gonna get anywhere between $60 and $70 out of that. So if you're gonna get it, look to spend that much. And then the healing process is what I'm gonna talk about next. Now, the healing process was more so about 6 to 8 weeks, and like I said, after 2 to 4 weeks, I didn't really have much pain, but yet and still there was tenderness in my nose area when it was touched. But overall, it was cool. I feel like I never really had any problems with earrings or any type of piercings that I had, or any tattoos that I have. So if you're a person like that, um, you probably won't experience much pain. I know there are some videos that show that if you get your septum pierced, it starts to bulge up, or it starts to your nose could rip, or just any type of craziness that you might see on the internet nowadays. It's crazy, but I really haven't experienced it. That if you don't really experience stuff like that, then you probably won't even have any problem. Thinking about doing it, the healing process is not that big of a deal. So next thing that I'm gonna talk about is what I really like about the septum piercing. The first thing that I'm gonna talk about is I think it looks good on a male or a female. It's kind of hybrid. It can go either way. Anybody could have it and make it look good. And then also too is like you can flip it up at any time. So in any you know environment that you're walking in. If you don't want to have it showing, you can easily flip it up and it's gone. Or if you're going somewhere and you want to have it down, you can easily flip it down and it's back in action. So that's one thing that I like about it. And then you can rock different styles with it. If you go to Amazon, they have all different types of, you know, jewelry on there for you. You find they have all different types of styles that you might like and that might fit you. Now, me personally, I just stick with the ball joints. I might switch it up from like gold to black, or maybe even get the little different types of screw on joints that look like arrows coming down or look like horns coming down. But other than that, I ain't doing too much. I ain't doing too much. But you, if personally, you can get any type. They have different types for you. So yeah, most definitely check that out. And then lastly, the thing that I'm gonna talk about is what I or what you might not like when dealing with that. So one thing I will say is kind of difficult to change. At least for me, it was. Um, the first time, like I took the ball out, so they have balls here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but you have to unscrew these. And me putting it back on, like the balls are kind of tiny, so it's kind of hard to get in the right place. But it's kind of after a while it's kind of like just like a regular earring. If you get it in the right spot, it's kind of easy to screw on. But with it being a nose and being so small, it's gonna take a little practice. And then next thing is kind of keeping it clean. So the process of cleaning it is, it's not really difficult. It's just kind of extra. So like what they explained to me is they want you to get like a cup or something and put your nose in the cup and kind of like sniffle there for like 90 seconds. Like I don't know who's gonna do that or who even did that. So basically what I did is take cotton balls and I just put it in. They give you salt and water mix, and I think it might be something else in there, but I could be wrong. But salt and water mix, and I just dipped the cotton ball in there and put them in my nose, let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then also you can do that and get Q-tips and kind of wipe it off. Another thing that I would say for that is if your nose gets stopped up or you have runny nose all the time, or you get a lot of boogers in your nose, you will find them just chilling on the top of your nose ring or in on the inside of your nose ring, especially when you first get it. If you happen to move it around, the boogers will get stuck on the ring and it will hurt to kind of move it. Your eyes will start to water, and it's not really that big of a deal, but it definitely does hurt trying to go through that hole when it's already tender. So that's something that you have to deal with. Just making sure you keep it clean, making sure you get um, the boogies off of it, the little crumbs on there, and just making sure you're taking care of it. But overall, I definitely would recommend anybody to go out and get their septum pierced. I definitely think it's cool. I definitely think a lot of people can pull this off. And hell, if you can't, you can always flip it up. Just that easy. Thank you guys for tuning in another video. I'll see y'all in the next one.